So I'm not running this, so I'm going to commentate it like a sports commentator, and Shivani's going to do it. So we're starting with mutton yakhni.
Yes, the Kashmiri Yakhni, which we went and bought mutton for slightly earlier. And what we got was pieces of the chest. That's what is traditionally used as the meat.
Now why? Why the
They're
chest?
tender and the bones become really yummy when cooked with yogurt. They become like so tender and so soft.
So yakhni, sorry.
Yeah.
So yakhni is essentially means any dish that's cooked in yogurt or dahi. That's
Yes,
right. So-
absolutely. And it is like almost like a soul food. It's very healthy. It doesn't have the oil and the spices that the rest of our cuisine does. You know, whether it's Rogan Josh or it's khatte bengan or any of that. It's so high on spices and on oil. But this is just made with the creaminess of the yogurt. So it's really like it's like what my mom used to make when I came home from somewhere. What I make for my daughter actually when she comes home from boarding.
Yeah.
So I have good practice in it.
The reason
I'm more confident about it.
the reason it's nice to do it with you is because Dad we did full spices and oil, and that's why I like to cook like that. So anyone who watches my channel knows how much I love fats and meats and heavy spice. So it's really nice to do a bit of this because it's something different, like very family, but not necessarily my personal experience. Because the big thing, obviously, about food in India is it's so regional, but beyond regional, it's house to house. So even within extended families, everyone will do things a little bit differently, depending on how the family, shares love and knows how to be fed. So I'm super excited to be fed by my beautiful sister. So let's start.
Yeah, all right. So, like I said, we bought the mutton. So we've got to wash it.
Okay.
And make sure it's clean. So that's the mutton we bought. And clean it in fresh water.
Okay, why are you cleaning it?
It's just come from the butcher, right?
Yeah.
Just hygiene, I guess, nothing else.
Yeah. It's not like a cooking thing.
Well, it won't smell if we keep, I think if we keep the blood and the other part of it around, I think it'll give a little smell.
Yeah.
So I think one thing we're very proud of in Kashmiri food is that our meats don't smell at all.
Right.
And whether it comes from, treating them beforehand or cooking them a lot or frying them in lots of ghee.
Yeah.
But it is a slight chip we carry on our shoulders that the meats just they don't smell.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. So it's like that's what I always say is that you sort of using technique to like transform the produce.
Yeah. Also, I can't let the water sit. I can't let it sit in the water.
No.
Because that will damage the mutton quality.
Yeah.
I have to just wash it and drain the water.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, the meat will become stretchy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It changes the protein.
Yeah.
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 And you don't get that tenderness then.
Yeah.
So how much is this? How much meat? It's like
This
1
is about 1.5 kilos, 1.5 kilos. It's a mix of the leg and the chest, but
Okay.
primarily the chest.
Okay.
So that bone will become completely yummy and edible. So you can actually pretty much eat all of it.
Yeah, it's like
and
cartilage.
the fat on it is also really light. So it's not bulky fat. It won't change the texture much.
Okay.
And this is pretty well cleaned. So otherwise, sometimes earlier we also just clean our own meat.
Yeah.
After we got it. So yeah.
All right. So what next? Pressure cooker.
I'm going to take the pressure cooker out. I can move there now.
Okay. All right. So can I put this over here?
Yeah.
So.
Say action. Let me start.
All right. Go. Action. No action. Stop. Yep. All right.
So the mutton's washed.
Yeah.
And we are now going to cook it in a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
And we add a few spices in it, so it kind of like gets the flavor into the mutton.
Yeah. And so like mainly whole spice, no? That's.
Whole spices.
Yeah. How many pressure cookers do you have?
Quite a few actually, maybe 5 or 6. So the family grew, right?
Yeah.
So first the pressure cookers were smaller,
And then they
like
got
the little baby ones, and then they get bigger as the family grows bigger. And I guess that's what food is for, right? Just to extend your family.
Yeah.
So great. Um,
So it just goes in cold like that, like in terms of you don't put fat in the bottom or there's no oil.
Nothing. It's just going to boil first.
Yeah.
But not just boil by itself, but boil with just salt and garam.
Like whole garam masala.
Yeah. I'm going to put badi ilaichi, the kali badi ilaichi.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put tej patta.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, so we're doing, so it's just like what I do normally. So it's like whole garam masala is black cardamom, bay leaf, and cinnamon quill. No, do you put
I won't
daruchini or
put
no?
cinnamon.
Okay.
I don't put cinnamon too much.
Right. Why?
I think it has a sweetness to it as a spice. I don't usually cook
You don't
it.
like
I
it?
don't cook it in Indian food. I use it in other stuff, non-Indian, but not. I don't know.
Dad always did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the garam masala we make at home. That has some cinnamon in it. But or the chai has cinnamon in it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the keva chai.
Yeah.
You should do a video on keva chai.
Okay, you can do it with me. So how much water was that?
Maybe about almost half a liter.
Okay, so like 2 cups of water in the pressure cooker. So in the pressure cooker, if you can see, come and have a look. And what you can see is that it's basically floating the meat like, you know, it's just kind of covering it. Like I always say, it's like an iceberg. So you just want like 10%. It's how I make paneer in the same way, like when you want 10% of it showing and the rest of it's underwater.
Yeah. So I'm going to break the
Badi ilaichi.
badi ilaichi. Just break it open.
So I have one of these at home too, but it's steel. But you know, it's a very...
I have...
oh, you got a mortar and pestle.
Yeah.
But this is like a very Indian thing. It's just the ilaichi cracker.
This is for dry spices, that's for wet. And then of course, there are people who make their chutneys in much larger...
Big ones.
Big ones. And
So how many? 4.
4. Yeah, 4 should be enough. Maybe 5, I don't know, let's see.
And you break them open as well.
Yeah. It didn't open. Maybe the ilaichi is a little
Hard.
wet from humidity. That also tends to.
Yeah, so we're in Bangalore and it's April. So it's like
it is.
humid. It's about 36 degrees.
So I'm just going with 3 bay leaves, or maybe 4.
Now, are they, so this is the thing, are they Indian bay leaves?
I guess, we got them here.
Yeah. So because you know there's 2 types.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so there's bay leaf and then there's Indian bay leaf. And Indian bay leaf comes from the cinnamon plant.
Oh.
Is that correct? I may be wrong. He's shaking his head and saying no. Someone told me that. They don't come from the actual bay leaf tree. They're 2 different trees. But I can't remember what plant they come from.
So I went to an organic spice farm in Kerala,
Huh.
and I was told that that was the bay leaf plant.
Yeah, because they
And you
smell
also
different.
get what I made yesterday. What did I make? The chicken that I made last night.
Yeah.
I added something called a 5 spice in it. It was a leaf that has 5 spices. It's like a hybrid they've done here. Yeah, one of them will know about it. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Like it's
So it has
genetically
pepper.
modified.
Yeah, it has
That's
pepper, but it's very
crazy
nice.
good.
It's very nice.
Yeah, I like that genetic modification.
Yeah.
So it's like
Which
one thing with 5.
Yeah.
That doesn't really smell very much.
If you break it, I think it will. So I'm going to put
How much salt?
maybe 3 because I'll be putting yogurt later on.
Okay.
Right? And that will, of course, I'll need to salt that as well.
Yeah. So you salt a few times. I do that
I'm
too.
going to move this to the other station.
Okay. So wait, did you get a look inside?
Did you guys get a look inside?
So do you want to start it here?
No, I
No?
can't.
Okay.
This-
It's not hot
Don't
enough.
use this pressure cooker on this induction. It doesn't work. It has to go here.
All right.
So yeah. Now I can take a break, or I can do the paneer with you. And ghee can come.
So just talk to me about this first. So this, so Yakhni, like, you know, there's no shortcuts to making really beautiful food, and always these dishes have like 2 or 3 steps, and the 2 or 3 steps are really important because at every stage what you're doing is you're inputting structural layers of spicing and flavour into each stage. So with this one, what we're using is water and heat as a carrier for whole spice, and using water creates a really broad platform for aromatic flavour. So it's not the same as oil. Oil intensifies spice flavour. Using water, it actually kind of like spreads it out. It's like a river delta in terms of making spice, and that's important for a Yakhni because with a Yakhni, what we're looking for is not sort of what you would call kind of concentric, intense spice expression when you're eating. What you're looking for is like soft, very digestible, very, I keep saying the word, but it's kind of the most appropriate, very broad into the back palate, and that dispersal of flavour means that, one, it makes it really much more digestible because the way your mouth experiences flavour affects the way your body actually processes the food, and that's like a very basic Ayurvedic kind of correlation. And 2 is it helps the meat and the protein in the meat, that broad water yogurt quality, to also tenderize to the point where softer spice will show expression, because these are really softly spiced dishes. So you actually have to sort of
enable them to come up,
exactly,
to bloom, to really come to the fore.
Then that won't happen when you hard cook meat
because
in
there's
oils.
no garlic, there's no ginger. You're right. I just never thought of it like that.
And that's sort of that's the process. So this is the first process where we're making like this really like cuddly bed of mutton. That's just really beautifully gently spiced. And then the second process, we'll kind of make the bed, you know, with like the beautiful soft comforter of like, we'll use a bit of sauce, so a bit of fennel.
Actually,
so very,
the primary spice will be fennel, and I'll temper it with some green cardamom later on.
And will there be fat in that second stage?
Well, a little bit, yes.
But mainly dahi,
mainly dahi. That is where the cream is coming from. The creaminess will come. But it's all very soft, like you said. It's really, really tender and soft, the whole experience. And you also eat it with boiled rice, actually. So it's a very light dish. It's healthy. It fills your stomach. Yeah. It's high protein. We love it.
Yeah. And that's also descriptive of Kashmir as a region, because the thing about regional Indian cooking is that it's cooking that sustains the system within the environment that you're occupying or you're living in. So those mountain climates are beautiful climates, and there is a sense of softness, but there's also a sense of they're hard. You know, they get very cold, different. Like you're up in elevation, so oxygen levels are different. Everything about it's different. So the food is inherently soft, very nourishing, and very deeply. I always think of Kashmiri food as very sort of deeply spiced. It's very elegantly spiced, and the bed of that is broad and beautiful and very different to like South Indian food. Yeah, just like the valley. Oh, that's nice poetry. So pressure cooker for 20 minutes.
I'll wait for one whistle. It will come maybe in about 6-7 minutes maybe, and then we'll cook it on low heat for another 5 minutes maybe. So all in all, 12 to 15, maybe 18 minutes. Yeah. I would say 18. Okay. Because it's a lot of meat.
All right.
It's 1.5 kilos.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is done.
Okay.
Right. Let's open it up.
So this is what we pressure cooked before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it smells good.
Yeah, it smells good. I like actually using.
Can I show you? So it almost looks like a stewy at this point.
So I'm gonna I like using wooden spoons, not so much of
Why?
steel. I don't know, I just like it. Not when I'm doing it. Maybe because it's a little softer on the meat pieces, so it doesn't break.
apart.
I'm going to take the bay leaf out.
Okay.
Right away. I'm not going to leave it in there.
Why is it too strong? You don't like it?
It doesn't look pretty.
Oh, because
So the
it's
dish then looks really pretty because it's all even and there's no like garam masala sticking out. So yeah. And everyone's not really fond of, I mean, they may like the flavor of badi lychee, but it's not like a nice looking thing. I mean,
and you don't want to bite on it when
Yeah,
you
don't
eat
wanna
it,
bite
which
on
is
it.
always,
yeah.
that always happens.
So of course, I mean, there are, I know that like my mother-in-law would always put her garam masala in a muslin cloth and then tie it up. Then it's just so much easier to take it out.
Yeah.
They also do that when they have to add color to like, what do you call them? White chana.
Like,
If you're making Amritsari chole, if you're
Yeah.
making chole, then you have to make it get that deep red color, and it comes from actually putting tea leaves in.
Oh,
this.
is
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
really?
yeah. That's what gives
I
the
didn't
color.
know that.
You can also put in amla, gooseberry,
Yeah.
dry gooseberry,
And it
I
gives
think
it bleeds
gives
it.
that dark color. I
Right.
think citrus makes it leave that color.
Right.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the curd I'm using
Mm.
and make it, just whisk it
Huh.
so that it's absolutely,
I'm just going to steal a piece.
yeah, tell me if it's done. It's done?
Yeah, it's yummy. The nice thing about cooking like this, like with like kind of whole garam masala and salt, is that actually even now it tastes really good. You don't, I mean, it's good from the start, even before you're doing the real masala. That's yummy.
The curd, yeah, that's home, made at home. Set at home rather. You've got to get that. You don't have that on your plate, right? I hope it's not stringy.
That's gone now. Oh, that's beautiful. Except you've got to do it over here because we can't see.
Oh, I thought he was
Huh.
getting it.
He is, but it's easier here.
So because I have like a kilo and a half, I need maybe at least half a kilo of curd.
Is that right?
Yeah, I use a lot of curd in this.
So when you set it at home, it's different because it's soft. It's like, why is it different than buying it? Why do you set it at home?
It's an easy thing to do, and why would you buy it if you can make it at home? I guess.
Yeah.
And it's warm enough here to. It's just that. I
And
think.
it's a bit fermented, isn't that right?
It could be if you leave it out.
Yeah.
Then it'll have a tartiness to it, and the South Indians use that a lot to make dosa batters and stuff like that. So even if it's fermented, you can make kadhi out of it. There's just like so many things you can do with it being a bit sour as well. You know, I think should be enough.
And you just want it to be smooth when you whip it.
Smooth, and I put it in the pressure cooker.
Okay.
While not before I put it on fire, while it's still cool,
So that it doesn't curdle straight away.
so that it doesn't go.
Because the thing about yakhni is it should look soft and creamy as well
Yeah.
as taste soft and creamy, right? Okay.
Should we?
Yep. I think that's ready.
So we have to cook on this gas.
Yeah, no
Do
worries.
you want me to move it to this? I could.
Can you?
Yeah, I'll move it.
Oh no, you can. That's okay. We can do that.
Maybe not. It's
Yeah.
a very small one.
Yeah.
So much.
All right.
Yeah.
So you want the yogurt. So I just pour it
Yes.
in.
Yeah.
Can you see? Yeah? I love your little whisk, by the way.
Quite handy.
It's very cute. All right. So do you stir it or no?
Yes, I will. I will.
Yeah.
The meat's still hot. If
Yeah.
the meat was a little cooler, it would have been a little better.
Yeah.
Let's-
And do you put spice in here again before you pressure cook or no?
Now I don't need to pressure cook it.
Then
It will
now you're
now
just
cook
cooking.
in by itself. It
And-
will just boil and cook.
What are you going to put in? What masala
I'm
goes
going
in?
to put in some sauf,
Yeah.
PCV, that's fennel,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to put in some dry ginger, that's salt, and then I will temper it with green elaichi, green cardamom,
Mhm.
and a little bit of not cinnamon, clove.
And in ghee, do you temper or in vegetable
well,
oil? Or
I
in mustard?
Personally, don't like the flavor of ghee very much.
Don't
I
you?
don't
What's
know, I don't. Ah.
No.
So yeah.
Really? Oh my gosh, I love ghee.
Yeah, so you can do it with ghee, you can do
What?
it
So
with...
what do you do it with if
I
you don't?
do it with
Do you
just
tell that to
basic.
people or do you just keep that to yourself?
Well, if you put ghee, people know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
I'd use a little bit of plain oil. Just,
Plain oil,
But I can do it
okay.
with ghee today. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Great. So we can add the spices now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we adding?
We're adding the fennel
Yeah.
and so lots of fennel, of course. We love fennel.
So like 2 or 3.
Maybe
3.
This is so small.
Yeah. 4.
And
So about 3 teaspoons of fennel.
some dried ginger.
Mm-hmm. So what's interesting about this food is the spice is essentially, you know, it is almost, you can almost say it's almost the same like grouping of spice from dish to dish, but the cooking techniques, the types of fats, whether it's water or yogurt or oil or mustard oil, whether it's gourd, so vegetable, or mutton, all of that changes the expression of those spices. So I think that's one thing that when you're new to masala you don't understand is that you can actually make, just from like 5 basic spices, you can actually, they totally change from dish to dish depending on exactly what you're cooking and how you're cooking it. Spice isn't, it's not static at all. There's nothing static about the flavour. I love that. All right,
So this
we've
had
done
a little less salt.
fennel,
So we're
ginger.
gonna add
So
some
that's-
more salt.
It's like-
Because we added so much yogurt. That
So
the salt,
I think that's about a half a teaspoon of salt that's gone back in. I say it out loud because when I go to write the recipe down, I can go back and look and see
Yeah.
what I've actually done, basically.
Yeah. So now this needs to come to a boil,
Mm.
and at which point we will give it a tempering. So
Okay.
I'm going to temper it with a very small.
Oh, that's super cute.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So I'm going to temper.
Look at that. I want one of those. How sweet it is.
Yeah, and we will temper it with green cardamom
Yep.
and some clove. That's all I need. And I will add hing, which is asafoetida,
Huh.
at that time, because asafoetida needs to break in the fire, in the heat.
Yes.
So, it's
So how long are you going to do that for?
when am I going? I'm going to temper it after it comes to a good boil.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long is that, do you think?
Oh, it's a lot of food. Maybe another 10 minutes at least.
Okay.
No? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's going to go pretty quick. Maybe 5, is it? Can I try?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, it's already so delicious. It's yum. It's like sweet and oil. Like it's the mutton. You can. It's hard to describe because actually what that mix does is it makes the mutton taste more of mutton in the best possible way. You're almost not tasting spice. You're just tasting this very sweet, delicious mutton flavour. But the mutton flavour is only there because it's been put to the forward by all the yogurt and softened and the spice and the water and it's delicious.
Even if we say so ourselves.
Yeah, of course. Who else is going to say it?
Well, hopefully the
I'm a
guest,
big-
hopefully the guest.
No, but I'm a big for self-congratulations. I think is always warranted in cooking if you are also have a good self-criticism, or constructive criticism thing as well, which I also have.
Yeah, but I do think that cooking is such a laborious and that's the wrong word. It's not laborious. It's just a long process, and it requires one to be feeling really joy throughout. If you're not feeling joy when you're cooking, the food's not going to taste good. So even if you make a cup of tea, so I really think that your energy gets transferred into everything that you're doing, of course, for sure, into cooking. And then you've spent all this time and you've kept yourself going, and you really want to sort of, make everyone feel loved, and then nobody says anything nice.
Yeah, it's devastating.
It's like, do not do that.
Yeah.
You have to fight. So
Yeah, it's like
so when I'm serving a meal, I was like, say something good and don't say anything. I'm not looking for self-criticism at that time.
Yeah, Kaylin, my eldest son, always says nice until I told him I've stood there cooking for 3 hours. Think of a better word than nice, because I've put the effort in. So go to your vocabulary and come back to me.
Yeah, I think so. What we'll do is maybe we should temper it. What do you say?
Yeah, let's temper, and by the time we've tempered it, we'll have boiled, and we'll do that.
I can't temper that either.
No, but let's just at least. Can you see from here? Can you see
Maybe
this?
they can come on our shoulder.
Yeah. So.
So that's the ghee. We don't really need so much except to break the spice and the masala we're putting inside, because there's so much
Richness
you can already
already.
see so much richness there. So as it's a broken piece, okay, can I get
Yeah,
the dry one? Do you want to do that?
Yeah. How many?
Oh, that's
3, 6, 8, it's like 9.
9 at least, yeah. Maybe 4, 5 cloves.
Yeah. Are you going to put the hing in there as well?
Yeah, but first I'll do the ghee and
How's that? That's pretty
yeah,
good,
that's
huh?
good. Ideally one shouldn't, because there's so much flavor. There are 3 different flavor smells here, right?
Yeah, but that's okay. Because what they do is they build a little triangle like this. And so when you're using, what you're doing with tempering is you're not actually looking for cohesion, you're looking for accent points. So if you point to my fingers, so if this is hing up the top, and then this one over here is cardamom, and this one is clove, you can see, so a triangle's a strong shape, so aromatically it puts a structural shape into the dish, and that pulls flavour up from the bottom, and creates like a really strong infrastructure. And the mouth loves infrastructure because that's communication, that's clarity. And you don't enjoy food unless there's clarity in terms of what you've actually designed inside that dish. Clarity is actually what's delicious. So, because then it's coherent and you know what you're tasting. And so those elements, sorry, let me stop talking. But it's really important to the enjoyment of the dish. So there's that kind of strong
I
flavour.
think it's beautiful actually. I just never thought of cooking as architecture.
Oh, I think of it all the time. It's one of the easiest metaphors for spice is architecture or engineering.
Or making music.
Yeah, music, painting. Oh, look at that. That's so pretty. I need one of these. Like that.
We're gonna
metal
go shopping.
thing. Okay.
And mine is, as you can see, a lot of my stuff is broken, but that's okay. Just means it's well worn.
Yeah, you've used
Just
it.
like I am.
You're not well worn.
Excellently well worn. Not tell me.
it's just like, it's just so beautiful. It may be like a fraction more salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You try it. Oh, but when you get the
No,
fat,
sure,
no,
it's
it's not actually. It's the salt's in the meat fat.
Okay.
So when you get the meat fat, yeah, it's beautiful.
Or maybe then we should try with the mutton piece.
Huh? Yeah. So you know how I was talking about that triangular structure of flavor?
Mm-hmm.
So you know the first time we tasted it,
Mm-hmm.
it was very soft and sweet and mutton-like.
Yes.
Okay, so now taste it and look for the triangle, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it. The taste is inherently the same, mutton and sweet and beautiful and coherent. But now there's like an actual infrastructure in there in terms of flavor. It's a little bit sort of like. Have you got lamb?
Yeah, it's hot. I didn't get enough to know this.
Huh? All right. Do it again.
We can do some more.
Even just to taste the gravy, you'll taste it. Okay, so taste it. And you'll feel the force that tempered spice puts in. Do you feel that? And you feel how it's like got a triangular actual, like it, not necessarily the shape, but you feel the strength it's put around that mutton flavor.
Yeah, almost like it's enclosed in it.
Yes, that's right. So that's the structure.
Yeah. So I think we're kind of done.
We're done.
Mm-hmm.
So is that it?
Mm-hmm.
And is that ready to serve?
Yes, you could add some coriander on it, fresh coriander.
Huh, okay.
I don't.
All right.
It looks pretty.
Yeah.
And then it's a whole another, like a
Flavor thing. Can you come and get some beauty shots? And then we're done with that one.
Really simple dish to make. No?
And so how would you serve it?
I'm gonna serve it, and I could serve it with peas pulao. You can serve it with just plain rice. But I always have all color on my table. So I'd love to have like a green leafy vegetable there, and and what we're doing next, which is the lal paneer, which is red paneer. So that's just all the colors there. And I find that very fulfilling as a cook.
Yeah, to visually have.
Visually have, and it seems to me that it's nutritious. It checks all the boxes, and it looks really beautiful. So
Beautiful.